Good morning and welcome to our August customer webinar. I'm Aaron Gillette, Marketing Director at TownNews. Great news. We've completely revamped our help site to make it simpler than ever to find the tips and documentation that you need. And Doug Green, training guru for TownNews, can't wait to show it off. Today, he'll give an in-depth tour of the new and improved help.townnews.com and share all of the renovations that he and the Docs team have delivered with the goal of making your lives easier. We're really excited and we hope you are too. As always, if you have a question, please feel free to type it into the Q&A box at any time. With that, take it away, Doug.
Thanks, Aaron. Welcome, everyone. We've got our brand new documentation site that we are very excited to show off this morning. So a couple of things that we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about the changes that we made, why we made those changes. From there, then we will roll right onto the new site. We will jump in there. We will take you through, show you all the new bells and whistles. And at the end, we'll answer any of the questions that you guys may have going forward. Hopefully get some feedback from you all as we go through here. So first thing we wanted to take a look at here is actually our training and documentation team. You'll hear our voices a lot, but sometimes you don't get to see our faces. So we wanted to make sure that everybody gets pointed out here. Including also somebody who is not listed here is Tomas from our design team. He did a lot of the CSS and kind of custom work that you will see today. So we wanted to make sure that we gave him a shout out today. I had the easy job. I just basically had to keep the train moving forward on the day-to-day stuff while Seth and Aaron did a lot of the heavy lifting. Seth Hansen did a lot of the video work that you will see today and did an outstanding job with that. Mr. Aaron Sickler did a lot of the design work and kind of and help put the site together. So he did a lot of kind of the heavy lifting here. So we want to make sure that those guys are definitely getting their props up top as we go through here. So why did we make this change? So we got a lot of feedback from both internal and external partners that basically said, you know, they wanted to make some adaptations to not only the way that we did our trainings, but also the way that our documentation was presented in there. So basically about a year and a half ago, we basically said, we're going to throw it all out. We're going to start all over. And then we basically worked under the assumption of what would you do if there were no rules? And so we got to be creative. We got to kind of build the whole thing from the ground up. So basically we got to restart the whole thing. And basically what you're going to see today is kind of the culmination of all of that work that we have done here in the last year and a half or so. So we made a lot of changes to the documentation site specifically based upon, like I said, the feedback that we got before. Our old site had some challenges. Things were hard to search. Some of the documentation was outdated. A lot of the videos that we had were very old. They predate me. I've been here for a very long time, and a lot of those videos were predated me. So what we wanted to do is we just wanted to give it kind of a whole kind of refresh, fresh kind of paint on the whole thing. So now what we've done, the subjects are easier to find. We've taken a whole new approach to the way that we've written the documentation. We are leveraging the power of the Block CMS system. We are taking a show, don't tell approach. Our old documentation was very paragraph structured and styled. You kind of had to read through everything to understand what you needed to do. We have now moved to an FAQ style here where things are very step-by-step, tell you exactly what you need to do to make the thing do its thing. On top of that, because we are using our own blocks technology now, it allows us to not only tell you how to do it, but show you. You will see live examples as we go through here of exactly how to do the thing that you want to do. And we're giving you downloadable files that will actually allow you to do the thing that you want to do as we go through here. And then, like we said, our old site had been around for 5+ years. It just was time to get a fresh coat of paint on it and really kind of make it look the way that we wanted it to look. So we're going to kind of talk about some of the things that we've changed as we go through here, as we go through the corresponding slides. The first big one really is the search improvements. Our old search could be tricky to find if you didn't know quite what you were looking for. So we've increased our search topics. We've narrowed those down. The search bar on the front page that you will see will still search the entire site, but once you get into the specific applications, those will all be application-based searches. So your focus will be much more narrow. We are presenting our the search results in order of completion, or the help topics are shown in the order of completion, which means as you go through the documentation, it should be step 1, step 2, step 3, and you're constantly building upon the knowledge of the previous documents that you've read. And then we're also still in the process of doing a keyword audit, which will help make searching on the site even easier for you going forward. So we really want to make sure that folks can find things on here and much easier than they could before. We've changed our navigation along the top as well. Once you're into the individual applications itself, you will see at the links at the top, there will be links to specific key documentation. A lot of these will have a pop-up modal like what you see here on the screen that will actually show you the interface or other items as well. And we've included a glossary now of terms. A lot of blocks can be very jargon or very kind of lingo based. What we've done now, we've actually kind of laid out those terms for you so that when you talk to a TownNews representative, everybody's speaking the same language. You know exactly kind of what we talk about when we say a particular thing. We made it, like we said, we've changed the layout, we've changed the look, we've changed the design, and we've changed how we've structured our documentation. We've went to that FAQ approach. You're going to see a lot better screenshots and just an easier to read format all over in there. So a lot of just kind of a cleaner, nicer look to the way the documentation is presented as well. We've also made a lot of design improvements as we've seen here. Like I mentioned, shout out to both Aaron and Tomas for making this look as nice as it does. These are designed to be mobile friendly as well. We know that a lot of folks are looking at the documentation on a tablet or on the phone, on their phones as well. So now we've got larger icons, and these are all been designed to be very much mobile friendly with a new layout in here. So really a nice looking design. And as you can see here on the screen, we've included day mode and night mode. So now if you are looking at this as particular time of day, you will actually see different versions of the site based upon the time of day. So that's another kind of cool feature that we've added just to give a little bit more sizzle to that steak on the front end. We've added some, actually, like I mentioned before, we've added in some new examples in here to increase these, to inspire you and to give you options of things that maybe you didn't think about that you could do before, and to hopefully, like it says, to reduce some frustration in there as well. Again, downloadable files, clickable things that will actually show you live examples of how things will work on the site as well, and on your site. So really kind of a powerful way to show exactly how your content is going to be displayed on your site. So with all that said, let's jump right into it and actually show you what our brand new site is going to look like, that we are all very excited about. So our brand new site, help.townnews.com. Like I mentioned before, you're still going to have that search bar right there on the main portion of the screen that will still do your site-wide search up top. Our buttons along the top now are going to be based upon the blocks products that we offer, and including a link to our support staff as well, who do a great job over there. Not all of these have been brought onto the new help.townnews yet. Eventually they will be, but some of these may link off to their old respective documentation sites. But now you can come to one place to find all of the documentation for all of our TownNews products in here. As we scroll down the page, you'll see, again, our brand new highlighted videos up top, and then underneath there, all of the different applications as we scroll down the page. We're going to start with our editorial assets. That's always kind of the big one that everybody kind of starts with. So once we click on this, it'll take us to our brand new editorial assets page. So like I mentioned before, your search bar up top, this is now application or subject focused in here. So when you do a search, no longer will you be getting things from multiple searches. Before, if you would search for something underneath editorial assets, it might return calendar documentation or classifieds documentation if they were similar terms. Now these are going to be strictly based upon the application that you are looking at. Again, refreshed, redesigned training videos by Seth Hansen up top. They are all amazing. So make sure that you do get a chance to view those as well. We've restructured the way that we are listing off our documentation. We have broken them up into 3 different groups: beginner, advanced, and expert. So depending upon your level or how much or how in depth of a piece of technology may be, gives you the ability to search by those particular items as well. And we have them broken off as links over there on the right-hand side. As we scroll down the page again, you'll go through all of those different levels of documentation. As we mentioned, one of the things that we really wanted to do is we wanted to show, not tell, how powerful blocks can be for you. And by doing that, one of the ways that we do that is we have actually built that right into our documentation. Article Designer Tools is one of our more powerful options that you can do in here. This is the way that you fancy up a given article for a Sunday special or something that you think might be contest worthy. What we've done now is we've actually gone through, designed something in here with basic or placeholder content, but we've given you a zip file that actually allows you to download these things. Not only do we show you how these things are done, but we give you the tools to do that for yourself on your own site. So you can click right on these things and see exactly how to do something and import that immediately onto your site. On the right-hand side over here, you will see other links that go off to a few other places as well. You can also search by our training topic. Now, here about a year ago, we redid how we do our trainings. We broke them up into what we call role-based trainings. We have now also grouped our documentation based upon those roles. So if you sign up for training through us, and we tell you that you're going to get community engagement training based upon your job, then you can also come to the community engagement link here and find all of the documentation that is applicable to that training as well. So again, we've just kind of reorganized everything so to make that easier for you guys to find and make it easier for everyone to get the information that they need. I'm going to back up a couple of steps here. We're going to jump into the design blocks application as well. Again, training videos up here at the top. Again, our buttons along top, these will change application to application. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention underneath the editorial stuff, the beginner, the advanced, and the expert levels, those will be for most, but not all of the applications. There are some applications where that method just doesn't fit. So you may not see that on all of them, but for the ones where it is applicable for, we do structure your documentation that way. At the top, we do have the brand new links at the top that will give you links or to key documentation, or will show you something specific in there, such as the interface overview. If you click on this, we will actually lay out and tell you kind of where everything is located within the admin interface here as well. One of our big challenges in terms of maintaining our documentation when it came to the design block side was the query rules, was the application settings, the appearance tab, and those types of things. The things that change when we add a new feature. For us, that was very difficult to maintain. So what we've done now is we've moved to a chart base here. So instead of having every single option listed out on a bunch of different blocks, you kind of have to go block to block to block to see it or to update it. Now we've listed these out in a chart, makes it much more clear for folks to find what they need, and makes it a much more easy reading experience for folks here, so that you can see exactly what your options are just by kind of going across here on the table or on the chart. Makes it much, much easier for folks, and makes it easier for us to maintain these things as new features get rolled out as well. Also, like I mentioned before, we do have the glossary up top. If you click on this, it will take you to the glossary page. And again, we define all of those different terms that you may use going through here. Couple of the other cool things that the design blocks will allow you to do is you're going to see me jump through a couple of different tabs right here. A couple of different concepts that sometimes verbally just don't get across the way that things work. We're going to start with what we call visibility classes. So everybody's TownNews site nowadays are on what we call our flex templates. And basically what that means is that your site is responsive design. And that means that your site will adapt or flex itself to fit your reader's device. And what this page here does, it actually shows you how those visibility classes will respond based upon the different device sizes. So keep your eye on the magical arrow here. I think this is really great. This really shows you kind of how this is going to work. I'm going to pull this tab out so that you can see it on its own. So as you can see, we've got our arrow going all the way across the screen. Down here, you can see the visibility class that we are currently using. If I unmaximize or minimize this particular tab, you're going to see it shrink down. And now my arrow is going to adapt or fit that particular size that we've got here for this particular size of window. And then if you come down here to our visibility class, you can see as we move through the different sizes, you can see that change and how the examples down below will also change how they appear as we go through here. So this is a powerful way to demonstrate exactly how these things are actually going to happen on your site. And we give you this great chart up top with the CSS visibility classes that show you actually how you can control these different things on your different blocks on your site. So again, show, not tell, giving you the tools to make these types of changes happen right on your site. Another piece that can be challenging kind of verbally, not visibly, will be what we call our utility regions. What utility regions are, they are extra regions on your site that allow you to place blocks basically on asset pages throughout the different pieces, throughout the different places on your site. And what these will allow you to do is actually show you where these different regions are actually going to appear. So if I click on one of these live examples down below, once we jump to this particular example, now all of these labeled places will be all of the different regions on this particular page. So you will see exactly where they are. And again, if I pop this out and show you based upon the visibility classes, you will see those all change based upon the different sizes in here as well. So really, really powerful to be able to see exactly what you're using as we go through here. The other thing that we get a lot of requests for, usually folks will go through training with us and then they'll come back and they'll be like, hey, I want to refresh my site or I want to make a change. And the thing that they really always ask about is how do I change my nav bar at the top? We've got a brand new piece of documentation of how to set up the mega navigation in here. We'll take you through, again, step by step, exactly how to make those changes. And again, we are going to give you a live example that will show you exactly how that mega nav is going to look and how it operates in here. So again, very, very powerful in terms of our documentation, in terms of giving you those live examples that everybody always asks for. The other piece that we want to take a look at today is going to be our access control, because that is the new hotness here at TownNews. That is what everybody has been all excited about. So we wanted to make sure that as we were building this brand new documentation site, that this is something that we really do highlight here as well. Again, we've got ourselves our brand new videos right up top as well. And then we've got all of the different structures going down below. Now, this is a place where you don't see beginner, advanced, and expert levels. You will see the offer builder documentation and then the access control documentation broken off into those two pieces as well. These do link off to our brand new audience.townnews.com site where you'll see live demonstrations of how all of those different pieces work together. Aaron also built here on the documentation site, metering examples as well. So you can actually see what is going to happen with all of the different metering pieces as well. So if I want to see what's going to happen when I hit stage 3 in the metering process, you'll be able to see those live examples here on the site as well. So again, live examples to make sure that you guys are seeing everything that you absolutely want to see and make sure that you've got all of those different pieces there. All right, so let's jump back over here to our live demonstration. One of the other coming features that we have once we jump over here is we are going to have a brand new mobile app. Again, we mentioned that we wanted to leverage all of TownNews technology, and that includes our apps. So coming in early part of September, you will have the ability to download both an iOS and an Android version of the apps, both on tablets and phones, so that you can actually go through and actually search our documentation site based upon an app as well. So we've really kind of leveraged all of the TownNews technology in here to really kind of highlight and showcase all of those things. So with that said, we've come here to the end of my little demonstration. So we are going to open the floor to questions. I'm going to kick it back over to Aaron to moderate all of those.
Yeah, now's a great time to put in questions if you have them in either the Q&A box or the chat box. We do have one. Can you please touch on the TCMS, the Blocks Total CMS help section?
Absolutely. That is going to be revamped as well here on our site. Now, one thing I did not mention that I probably should have, I forgot to click on the button as we go through here. Not all of our documentation has made it over to the new documentation site. There is still a few things that are running around on the old documentation site. We do have links that will allow you to get back to the old documentation site too. We're still turning some wrenches here on the new site, but you will find there might be a couple of things that will go over to the old site. But yes, we have, but basically our total CMS coverage or our total CMS documentation is going to be structured again exactly like our new stuff here, where you will find the release notes, the stuff that the IT staff has used, all of our technical user and user guide documentations. Those are all going to be structured here as well. So they have been organized the same way that the regular Blue Blocks documentation is getting organized as well.
So Aaron, Doug, one of the things that's going to change a little bit on the total CMS documentation as opposed to on the old site is previously, for you total CMS users that are on the call, it was a bit of a chore sometimes to get the new version of the client code because it wasn't available on the old help site. That will be available. You'll be able to download the new versions of client codes along right with the release notes for those things right here on the help site. Moving forward, once we start to get new versions of the client code available, those will be available here. Sorry, back to you, Doug.
No, thanks, Dave.
That's awesome. It looks like you've done a great job showing it off, Doug. We don't have any other questions that have come in at this point. So if you want to advance to the final slide there, we can wrap it up. And if anyone does have a question, please feel free to type it in as I'm wrapping up here. For documentation, you can visit help.townnews.com. For support, please call 800-293-9576 or support.townnews.com. The community site is a great way to swap ideas with other TownNews customers, and that's available at community.townnews.com. And then, of course, you can follow the status of all of our systems at townnews.status.io. You can sign up for updates right on that site. Please follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And that is it. That is it for this month. Thank you very much, Doug. Any last words you'd like to impart?
No, just again, shout out to Aaron and Seth and Tomas, who really did a great job putting this together. They are the ones who did all the heavy lifting, and they are the ones that need to be commended for this.
Yes, thanks so much to the entire team. This looks like a huge advance for us and our customers. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone for joining us. We'll talk to you again next month. Bye, everyone.